If you're losing your soul and you know it, then you've still got a soul left to lose. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire. The 9 to 5 is one of the greatest atrocities sprung upon mankind. You give your life away to a function that doesn't interest you. There's no physician that can cure the disease of love. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead. A man who uses force is afraid of reasoning. When a mother goat breaks into a yam store, her kid watches her. Ambition rarely helps talent. Another thing is luck. Talent always trails behind her. The strength of the crocodile is in the water. When a mighty tree falls, the birds are scattered into the bush. The quarrel between two lovers is the renewal of love. A bridge is repaired only when someone falls into the water. Difficult tasks and efforts are not the same as success. The dog's bark is not might but fright. You have to die a few times before you can really live. A happy man marries the girl he loves, but a happier man loves the girl he marries. I often carry things to read so that I will not have to look at the people. A little room can contain 10 friends if love is in their midst. Don't beat the drums of war unless you are prepared to fight. The eyes never forget what the heart has seen. Unbridled disagreements are what destroy relationships. The only time most people think about injustice is when it happens to them. One must crouch before being able to jump. It's better to fall from a tree and break your back than to fall in love and break your heart. Not to know is bad. Not to wish to know is worse. Love doesn't rely on physical features. When the mouse laughs at the cat, there's a hole nearby. There is always one woman to save you from another, and as that woman saves you, she makes ready to destroy. Too often the people complain that they have done nothing with their lives, and then they wait for somebody to tell them that this isn't so. People are strange. They are constantly angered by trivial things, but on a major matter like totally wasting their lives, they hardly seem to notice. Loving someone who doesn't love you is like loving the rain that falls in the forest. A man without a wife is like a vase without flowers. It is much easier to fall in love than to stay in love. And why do women always need the husbands of other women? And why do horse thieves always prefer a tamed horse to wild one? No shortcut exists on top of a palm tree. A bird does not change its feathers because the weather is bad. He who swallows a coconut must have complete trust in his anus. Life is a storm. If it blows forward, it will blow backward as well. Birds sing, not because they have answers, but because they have songs. Find what you love and let it kill you. Do not look where you fell, but where you slipped. People run from grain, but sit in bathtubs full of water. The less you need, the better you feel. How can you trust a creature that bleeds every month and doesn't die? Love, like rain, does not choose the grass on which it falls. There is loneliness in this world so great that you see it in the slow movement of a clock's hand. Great Heart is horseshit. Buy tacos. A letter from the heart can be read on the face. Almost everybody is born a genius and buried an idiot. Drinking is an emotional thing. It juggles you out of the standardism of everyday life, out of everything being the same. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. Nothing is worse than to finish a good shit, then reach over and find the toilet paper container empty. Even the most horrible human being on earth deserves to wipe his ass. One who marries for love alone will have bad days, but good nights. To love someone who does not love you is like shaking a tree to make the dewdrops fall. No matter how many times you wash a goat, it will still smell like goat. There is not such a thing in the world as a sheep of many colors. There are only 2 things wrong with money: too much or too little. If there were no elephants in the jungle, the buffalo would be a great animal. It is the one who lives in the house that can say where the roof leaks. If you manage to deceive a person, this does not mean that he is a fool. It means that you are trusted more than you deserve it. A fully grown tree cannot bend into a walking stick. Nobody can save you but yourself, and you're worth saving. It's a war, not easily won, but if anything is worth winning, then this is it. A woman is the flower in the garden, and her husband is the fence around it. Having a good discussion is like having riches. Love is a despot who spares no one. You cannot beat the drum with one finger. If you cut your chains, you free yourself. If you cut your roots, you die. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. No matter how long the night, the day is sure to come. A fish and bird may fall in love, but the two cannot build a home together. A bird that compares itself to vultures will end up getting roasted at the fireplace. If a child doesn't forget the quarrels of the past, he will not have a playmate. When one is in love, a cliff becomes a meadow. One may have two legs, but that does not mean one can climb two trees at the same time. He who wishes to fly like a bat must first become friends with the darkness. Do not treat your loved one like a swinging door. You are fond of it, but you push it back and forth. Where there is love, there is no darkness. Pretend to be dead, and you will see who really loves you. By the time the fool understands the game, the players have dispersed. You begin saving the world by saving one man at a time, all else is grandiose romanticism or politics. Similar traits and personalities make solid relationships. You're not promised anything in life. No contract was signed with you. The sun doesn't forget the village just because it is small. If you have the ability to love, love yourself first. Those who end up accomplishing great things pay attention to little ones. Do not tell the man who is carrying you that he stinks. Genius might be the ability to say a profound thing in a simple way. Don't procrastinate, or you will be left in between doing something, having something, and being nothing. He who swallows the udala seed must consider the size of his anus. The free soul is rare, but you know it's when you see. It's basically because you feel good, very good when you are near or with them. Your ambition is handicapped by laziness. The lion and the sheep may lie together, but the sheep won't get any sleep. As long as a man has wine and cigarettes, he can endure a lot. Snails and dogs run at different speed levels, but they both arrive at their location. A man shows his character by what he laughs at. It is better to live as a lion for 1 day than 100 years as a sheep. The rain wets the leopard's spot, but doesn't ease them away. If a woman doesn't love you, she calls you brother. There are times when those eyes inside your brain stare back at you. Once you carry your water, you'll remember every drop. If you marry a monkey for its wealth, the money goes and the monkey remains. Love is a form of prejudice. You love what you need. You love what makes you feel good. You love what is convenient. If the full moon loves you, why worry about the stars? Some moments are nice, some were nicer, some are even worth writing about. We are like roses that have never bothered to bloom when we should have bloomed, and it is as if the sun has become disgusted with waiting. Dogs and angels are not very far apart. Bad taste creates many more millionaires than good taste. A hunter with one arrow doesn't shoot without aiming carefully. Love is all right for those who can handle the psychic overload. It's like trying to carry a full garbage can on your back over a rushing river of piss. The chameleon changes color to match the earth. The earth doesn't change color to match the chameleon. You know who you love, but you can't tell who loves you. He who's destined for power does not have to fight for it. Of course, it's possible to love a human being if you don't know them too well. A woman is never too old when it comes to the dance she knows. I've always liked visiting women myself more than when they are visiting me. You can always get away from them. One who plants grapes by the roadside and one who marries a pretty woman. A love is like a serious illness, an illness from which you never entirely recover. Only love can milk a lion. We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. No person is born great. Great people become great when others are sleeping. One whose house is on fire doesn't hunt rats. The house of a person who loves is never far. Sticks in a bundle are unbreakable. When the lion cannot find meat, it eats grass. If the rat cannot flee, let him make way for the tortoise. Beauty is nothing. Beauty won't stay. You don't know how lucky you are to be ugly, because if people like you, you know it's for something else. A family tie is like a tree. It can bend, but it cannot be broken. There are worse things than being alone, but it often takes decades to realize this. And most often when you do, it's too late, and there's nothing worse than too late. Some people like what you do. Some people hate what you do. But most people simply don't give a damn. We don't even ask for happiness, just a little less pain. When two elephants meet on a narrow bridge, they cannot go anywhere until one of them lies down. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is that in a democracy you vote first and take orders later. In a dictatorship, you don't have to waste your time voting. Life's as kind as you let it be. Never say 3 things about yourself, your plans, your income, and the number of people you slept with. The woman who smiles at you when you meet her is most likely just planning to feed her ego. He who loves the vase also loves what is inside. Ears that do not listen to advice accompany the head when it is chopped off. A person does not go to heaven to find company after failing to secure one in the world. If you wish to move mountains tomorrow, you must start by lifting stones. Real loneliness is not necessarily limited to when you are alone. If you watch your pot, your food will not burn. When you pray, move your feet. Marriage is like groundnut. You have to crack them to see what is inside. Lovers do not hide their nakedness. We must bring our own light to deep darkness. Just because a lizard nods, his head doesn't mean he's in agreement. Sex is a great thing only when there is nothing. else to do. As humans, we adjust to new conditions and discoveries. We are pliable. When an old man dies, a library is burned with him. If a girl cries after sex, it means she is experiencing a range of emotions, and it's important to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. It is better to be poor when one is young rather than becoming poor at old age. Don't be so in love that you can't tell when it's raining. The frowning of a goat cannot stop its owner from taking it to the market. For those who believe in God, most of the big questions are answered. But for those of us who can't readily accept the God formula, the big answers don't remain stone written. The eagle doesn't hunt flies. Coffee and love taste best when hot. You do not teach the paths of the forest to an old gorilla. If you get married, they think you're finished. And if you are without a woman, they think you're incomplete.